Hello everyone, welcome again to 5 questions, 5 answers with Kuli Adepoju. This week, we're so glad that you're following this very program and you're being blessed by some of the questions that have been answered on this very program. We are believing that you are improving in your filmmaking skills. We trust that this question and answer session is really helping you to do much more in your filmmaking career, and we hope that you, as you're following this very page, as you're following this very program, you are also subscribing to the channel called 4 TV, because on 4 TV this 5 questions 5 answers program will be coming onto you. Welcome to this very week 5 questions 5 answers with Kunle Adepoju.
Can you tell us what production picture composition is? It just production design for us to have film production? Can you tell us what production design for does in filmmaking? What type of camera can you recommend?
Yes, today we have another 5 questions to be answered on this program, and 4 of the 5 questions come from one person. 4 of the 5 questions come from one person, and the person is Tolulope Adewuyi. Tolulope Adewuyi is one of the MEFA students, and he's asking us about 4 questions, and we'll start with the first question. The first question is, what is the difference between film camera and digital camera? What's the difference between film camera and digital camera? Yes, I will answer this question by opening our eyes to some things from the history of filmmaking. Let me say this: there is film, there is video. There is film, there is video. Now, video is different from film. Quite a large number of people don't know that film is actually different from video. In the days when film shoots started in Nigeria, when celluloid was the prominent camera used in shooting movies for cinema, then we realized that most of the movies that are shot at that time, the Moshe Bolaton, the Aye Jayesimi, and the rest of them, like the movies shot by the Ogundes, by the Adelov, and the rest of them, were shot on film. At that time, we have what we call film reel, 35mm film reel, 16mm film reel. Those times were films, and films are those you cannot even watch. You cannot even watch them on normal home use appliances. You cannot watch anything like film on a normal. You have to just take a film to the normal factory that can actually play those film for you. But when video came, video is accessible. Video is accessible to everybody. Any home appliance can play video. At the time we have VHS, when you can play the VHS cassette at home, you can play them anywhere. You have VCD, you have a video cassette player. In the days of the cameras called Panasonic M3005, M9005, Super VHS, and all the stuff like that, that is video, which is totally different from film. So a film camera are cameras that are actually meant for cinema. They are cameras that are used to shoot movies for cinema, shoot movies for film. They are used to shoot movies for cinemas. But when you talk about video cameras are actually cameras that you use to shoot videos. They are very accessible to every one of us. Like most of the DSLR video cameras, most of the cameras that I mentioned, the M3500 of those days, they are video cameras. Quite a number of video cameras, i8, all of them, they are video cameras that are used. But when you talk about digital is actually a format, a system which can be applicable. It is applicable to both video and film. There are digital films, there are digital videos. Now, this is what I mean. In the days of celluloid, we have film reel. All movies, all film are recorded on tape. Though those tapes are 16 mm, 35 mm in those days. But recently we have some cine cameras where you can even record their content on cards, memory cards. You record their content on memory card, and it is very easy to copy from one system to another because it is a digital file. They are files that are digitalized. They are files that you can toy with, you can manipulate any moment, any time. You don't really need to go to movie factory before you can manipulate them, because very many systems around now can manipulate any digital videos. But when it comes to any digital stuff, so digital is actually is a system. It's a system which is an improvement on just normal film reel to something that can be manipulated on any system. So you can manipulate any digital videos, you can manipulate any digital film, because they are recorded on cards, they are recorded on memories that can be slotted into systems. So that is digital. So when you now talk about digital cameras, you are talking about cameras that make use of digital systems. They make use of digital systems. So you record their files inside maybe a memory card or a SSD or whatever cards that are digital that you put into them. I hope I've answered your question, Tolulope Adewiyi. Yes, the second question is also coming from Tolulope Adewiyi. Well, she's a MEPA student, and she's asking us this very question also. She's asking this. How can we know the color temperature of a camera? How can we know the color temperature of a camera? Yes, to know the color temperature of a camera. Yes, when you, I think I should ask this. Every camera has, most especially the professional cameras, they have their color settings. They have their white balance settings. Their white balance settings can either be automatic or preset. So if it is preset, there you will find the color temperature, and it is also measured in Kelvin, always measured in Kelvin, which is K. So when you open up your camera and you go to white balance setting, you will see where K is written. K is written. So most of those Ks, you will see different variations of white balance temperature, color temperature settings. You see from maybe like 2500, or you see like 5600 Kelvin. So, and you can set your color temperature from there. So when you go into the camera and you see those color temperatures, the lower the number of that Kelvin, the bluish your camera becomes, and the higher the number of that Kelvin, the brownish your picture becomes, the warmer it becomes. So the higher the number, the warmer your picture, the lower the number, the cooler your picture. And you know, that is totally a reverse of light. It's totally a reverse of light, because the higher the number, the cooler it becomes when it comes to light. The lower the number, the warmer it becomes when it comes to light. So, but from the camera, that is how you will determine the color temperature of your camera. We'll be right back after this break.
Please, can you tell us what picture composition is? It just production design for us to have film production? Can you tell us what production design for does in filmmaking? What type of camera can you recommend?
Welcome back. We're going for another 2 questions. Yes, we'll be going for another 2 questions. The next question before us is, it baffles me how the sound in the film are done. It baffles me how the sound in the movies are done. Please, I need more information about the sound of a film. Please, I need more information about this. It's also coming from Tolulope Adewiyi. Now, it baffles you how sound is done in movies. Yeah. Of course, some people marvel about how sound is done in a movie, because at many times many people have seen that at most times most of the sound recorded on locations are not connected with the camera. They are recorded separately. So, and when you record sound separately, how do they link it with the video? That is what confuses some people. How do you link your sound with the video? Automatically in editing, there is a space for sound in your timeline, and there is a space for the video in your timeline. But what baffles you here is, and you want to know more about sound in movie. I don't even know which area I should teach you now, but let me just open your eyes to some things. Yes, basically there are two types of sound when it comes to making a movie, and those two types of sound, some are recorded on the location, some are recorded outside location. When you go for a movie shoot, they record sound, they record the voice of the people who are acting. That is a part of the sound. Maybe you have gone to location and you receive that one, but you have not been able to go to studio to see the other side of sound making. So apart from the one they record on location, there are still other sound they will record outside location. One of them is called Foley. One of them is called soundtrack. Some of them is called instrumentals, and some of them is called incidentals. So all these sounds are brought together. All these sounds will be brought together into that movie to make it a good movie. Now, if you have seen our latest movie on this YouTube channel, our latest movie on this YouTube channel called The First Kid President. If you have watched that film, if you have not watched that film, I will want you to go and watch the film. The opening shot, the opening scene of that movie was full of sound. Several sound was in that opening scene. We have Foley sound of water, we have Foley sound of fire, we have Foley sound of match, we have Foley sound of cutting yam. As they are peeling yam, we have Foley sound of it, and we have the voice of the woman who is talking from the kitchen, and we have another sound which we call off-screen sound, the sound of the guy answering, replying the mother. We are not seeing his face, but we can hear him answering his brother. So in fact that movie will explain the secret behind sound to you. Sound are made on location, sound are made outside location. All these sounds are brought together to make a movie. If you are making your movie, all these sounds must be complete in your movie before you can say you are making a perfect movie for people to see. I hope we have answered that question for you. Now let me pick this another question. Let me pick another question coming from Tolulope also. And pick another question coming from Tolulope also. The question is, what is the meaning of unplanned movies? Because I think if movie is not planned, it is not going to be interesting. Yes, I think she knows this question she's asking. What is the meaning of unplanned movie? Because I think movies, if a movie is not planned, it is not going to be interesting. Yes, of course, when you don't plan a movie, it can be interesting. What the outcome cannot be good. The outcome cannot be, it will be confusing because it's not planned. Now, but the only thing I see in your question is that you said, what is the meaning of unplanned movies? Yeah, I don't think there is any movie that is an unplanned movie. I don't think there is anything called unplanned movie, but you can say unscripted movie. Maybe unscripted movie. Yeah, but nobody can go on a movie location without planning. Maybe I should say this. Nobody can go on a movie location without planning. In fact, the fact that you call actor to come and act is a plan, because you cannot. Your actors will have known that you are shooting before they can come to location. Your crew, the fact that you rent camera is a plan. The fact that you know the location you are using is a plan. So there is no way you will shoot a movie without plan. The only thing I can say is that you may not plan well. You may not plan well, so you might put priority of your plan on some aspect of the production than the other one. So if you are putting priority on some aspect than the other one, that is when you don't plan well. But if you see every aspect of your movie shoot, every aspect of your movie production as important, and you plan all those aspects well, that is when you have well planned. You don't see props as very little. Oh, we are going to get it, don't worry, we will get it. When we get to that location, we will get it. And you eventually get to that location and you realize that you cannot get that props. You have to start looking here and there for the props, or you waive it. You don't put it in your movie again, which is going to drop the production. I'll still refer to that first kid president, our first kid president movie. You will realize that so many props were used in that movie. All of them are planned for. The yam, the marches, everything that was used in that were actually planned for and prepared for. So I think in shooting a movie, there is no way you will not plan. The only thing is that you may not plan well to have a perfect production. But what I will say is that when you are doing a movie, you will definitely plan. The only thing I will say is that you might have an unscripted film. There are quite a number of films that are not scripted. Quite a number of films that are not scripted. Some people shoot movies and they don't script it at all. All they do is they come to location, tell the actors, this is what you are going to say, this is your role, this is what you are going to do. Oh yeah, action. And they are doing that. That we call them spontaneous acting. Some people act, they don't give them script, they just tell them what they are going to do and they do it. Such a movie will end up to be a movie, but it might not really pass a particular information, a particular message. There might not be theme for such a movie. That is what you come out with when you have an unscripted movie. I hope I've been able to answer a bit of your question.
Can you tell us what picture composition is? It production design for us to have film production? Can you tell us what production design for does in filmmaking? What type of camera can you recommend?
Welcome back. We're going for the last question for today. The last question for today is, why is Canon made camera used widely than other models? Why is Canon camera used widely than other models? Well, okay, I use Canon, quite alright. I love using more of Canon, and I use other cameras too. I use Blackmagic cameras, I use red cameras, I use quite a number of cameras too. But Canon taking so much of taking so much prominence in some of my shoots. So I think he's asking this question also for he sees more of Canon cameras around. Yes, I think I will not be able to say much about why many people use Canon, but I should be able to say with some of my research on Canon cameras. I think number one reason is that Canon cameras made themselves very user-friendly. Canon cameras are user-friendly. They are very user-friendly. You find it easy to use them, to manipulate Canon cameras than many other cameras. You find their access. You find quick access to Canon cameras than many other cameras. They are simple to operate, they are simple to manipulate, they are simple to work upon. So I think for that reason a lot of people choose them. Then secondly, I think Canon camera are reasonable in pricing. I think they are reasonable in pricing. I think is one of the reasons why many people choose Canon cameras. You easily find their lenses around, and they are easily accessible. Other cameras are also, people use other cameras too, but because they are very accessible. I think they have an edge in the area of manufacturing. They manufacture quite a number of products than other cameras. They release products virtually every year for people to use. They solve quite a number of video problems. They solve quite a number of movie problems. When they observe a particular problem in one camera, they produce another one to solve that problem. Observe a problem. I remember there's one of their cameras that gave us so much problem sometimes ago. 7D Mark II. A lot of people were running away from that camera because that camera was having a fault of just switching off and it won't come up again. A lot of people were running away from it, but they made another brand to solve that problem. So I think for that reason, I think Canon happens to be a good listener when it comes to manufacturing. I think that's one of the reasons that give them edge over many other products. You don't need a lot of things. I remember I was working with a camera sometimes ago, and you need a particular software to grade the camera before you can. If you are using the camera, you just need a particular software for the picture to come back to normal. The fact that you are using that camera, so I think that is a hard way to use such a camera. But Canon cameras, they make it very simple for you. You can get the picture you want on them before you even say you go to editing studio or you go to color grading level. So I think that answers your question. Thank you for watching 5 questions, 5 answers this week. We hope to come to you next week by special grace of God, and we will also encourage you to subscribe to Fox TV YouTube channel, and we always say that your question will keep this program running. Once you drop your question, your question will be part of those questions that will be answered on this program. So if you drop your question, we will answer your question. You can drop your question on the number screen on your screen, and then you will see your question be answered. Please don't forget to put your name and your location to any question you are dropping for us to answer on this program. Thank you for watching this program this week. Hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Please, can you tell us what picture composition is? Is it production design for us to have film production? Can you tell us what production design does in filmmaking? What type of camera can you recommend?